Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. state quarter-dollar coins, as some of these coins are rare and can make you rich overnight. In this video, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're diving into one of the most talked about and sought-after coins in modern U.S. coinage, the Delaware State Quarter from 1999. This isn't just any quarter. This small piece of metal has captured the attention of collectors all over the world because of its beauty, history, and the unbelievable value that certain rare versions of it can reach. So sit back, listen closely, and by the end of this video, you might find yourself checking every quarter you own. The Delaware State Quarter was the very first coin released in the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, a massive project that ran from 1999 to 2008. Each coin celebrated one of the 50 states with a unique design on the reverse side. When the Delaware Quarter came out, people lined up at banks just to get their hands on it. It marked the start of a collecting frenzy across America, and millions of people became coin hunters overnight. But what made the Delaware Quarter special wasn't just its place in history. It was its elegant design and the surprises that came with it. On the front, or the obverse side, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington, redesigned slightly for this new series. But flip it over, and that's where the story really begins. The reverse of the coin proudly features Caesar Rodney, a true hero of American independence. He's shown on horseback, galloping through the night. This image represents his legendary ride in 1776 from Delaware to Philadelphia to cast a crucial vote for independence. It's a symbol of courage, speed, and determination, qualities that made Rodney and his journey unforgettable. The design immediately captured the public's imagination. The words, "the first state," appear proudly above, reminding everyone that Delaware was the very first state to join the Union. The artistry, the detail, and the meaning behind this coin made it one of the most popular designs in the entire State Quarters series. But collectors soon discovered that not every Delaware quarter was the same. Some had tiny imperfections, minting errors, that turned ordinary coins into treasures worth thousands. Now, what kind of errors are we talking about? Well, some Delaware quarters from 1999 have what's known as a spitting horse error. On these coins, a small die crack appears in front of the horse's mouth, making it look as though the horse is spitting. It's subtle, but to coin collectors, that little line is a big deal. It happened because of a tiny flaw in the die that stamped the coin, and only a limited number of these coins were produced before the die was replaced. That makes them rare, and rarity is the heartbeat of any coin's value. There are also quarters that show doubling on the letters, especially on E pluribus unum. This type of error, known as a double die, happens when the die shifts slightly during the minting process. These doubling errors make the text appear thicker or shadowed, and they are highly desirable to collectors. Combine that with the fact that this was the first quarter in an iconic series, and you've got a recipe for skyrocketing demand. Some Delaware quarters also have off-center strikes, partial collars, or weak strikes, giving them unusual shapes or missing rim details. Every one of these oddities tells a story about the minting process and adds personality to the coin. And the more unique the coin's features, the more collectors want to add it to their collection. But it's not just about the errors. Condition matters a lot. A Delaware quarter that has been in circulation, scratched, or worn might only be worth its face value. But one in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially one that's been professionally graded, can command astonishing prices. Coins preserved in mint state, with brilliant luster and flawless surfaces, are the ones that make headlines at auctions. Collectors love the Delaware Quarter because it represents the start of an era. The State Quarters program inspired millions to look at their change differently, to see history in the palm of their hand. And for many, the Delaware coin is where that passion began. It's a reminder of how a simple piece of metal can hold stories of courage, craftsmanship, and chance. Imagine holding one of these coins, a design that celebrates the birth of a nation, combined with the luck of a rare minting error. That's what makes the Delaware 1999 quarter not just a coin, but a little piece of American adventure. Now here's the part you've been waiting for. Among all the Delaware state quarters ever minted, A few have been discovered with rare errors, perfect condition, or unique die characteristics that make them unbelievably valuable. These exceptional coins have stunned collectors and shocked even experienced appraisers with how much they can sell for at auction. And yes, there is one version of the 1999 Delaware State Quarter that reached an astonishing price of $82,000. So the next time you get a Delaware quarter in your change, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look at the horse, the letters, and every tiny detail. You might be holding a piece of history and possibly a hidden fortune. Keep collecting, keep searching, and never underestimate the stories hiding in your spare change. Top 2, we're going deep into the heart of the Appalachian Mountains to explore a stunning piece of American history, the United States West Virginia State Quarter from 2005. Don't let its small size fool you. This coin, filled with incredible detail and fascinating history, has become one of the most talked about pieces among collectors. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some versions of this coin are worth a staggering amount of money. When the U.S. Mint launched the 50 State Quarters program, millions of Americans began looking at their pocket change with excitement and curiosity. Each coin celebrated one of the 50 states, and when West Virginia's quarter was released in 2005, it instantly became a fan favorite. It wasn't just another coin. It was a breathtaking tribute to one of the most picturesque places in America. The design highlighted the New River Gorge Bridge, a masterpiece of engineering and a symbol of connection, courage, and pride for the people of West Virginia. The obverse of the coin carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, originally sculpted by John Flanagan and modified for this series. But it's the reverse side that truly captures the imagination. The scene features the majestic New River Gorge Bridge stretching across one of the oldest rivers in the world, the New River. It's a design that speaks of strength and beauty, a perfect blend of nature and human achievement. The intricate lines of the bridge and the flowing river beneath create a powerful image that instantly draws attention. But what really makes the 2005 West Virginia State Quarter fascinating isn't just its design. It's the fact that certain rare varieties and minting errors have turned some of these coins into priceless treasures. Collectors across the country have been searching tirelessly for these elusive versions that can fetch eye-popping prices at auctions. Let's talk about those errors, because this is where things get exciting. During the minting process, even the slightest misalignment or die crack can transform an ordinary quarter into a collector's dream. One of the most well-known errors on the West Virginia quarter is the double die error. On these rare pieces, some of the letters or details on the bridge appear to have a faint doubling effect. It's subtle, but once you spot it, you'll never forget it. This doubling happens when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly between impressions, and it creates a beautiful but rare imperfection that makes the coin incredibly valuable. Another fascinating variation comes from off-center strikes. When the blank planchet, the metal disc that becomes a coin, isn't perfectly centered during the minting process, part of the design ends up missing or shifted to one side. These off-center quarters have an unmistakable look that instantly grabs attention, and collectors love them because no two are exactly the same. Each one is a one-of-a-kind mistake frozen in metal. There are also coins with die cracks, die chips, and even missing letters in the inscriptions. In some cases, you can see raised metal lines running across the design or extra blobs of metal near the edge of the bridge. These features might seem like tiny defects, but they can mean big money in the world of numismatics. Every small variation tells a story about how that particular coin was struck, and for serious collectors, those stories are pure gold. Now, condition is everything. The West Virginia quarter was heavily circulated, meaning most of them were used for years in everyday transactions, tossed into vending machines, dropped into jars, and passed through countless hands. Those coins are still worth 25 cents. But if you happen to find one in mint state condition, with its original shine intact and no signs of wear, you might have something special. The most desirable examples are those graded by professional grading services as MS68 or higher, coins that look like they just left the mint. What makes the West Virginia quarter even more interesting is its emotional connection. For the people of West Virginia, this coin represents pride, craftsmanship, and natural beauty. For collectors, it represents opportunity, the chance to hold a tiny masterpiece that might just be worth more than anyone ever imagined. So, imagine this. You're sorting through your coin jar or checking your change from the grocery store, and you notice that beautiful image of the New River Gorge Bridge glinting back at you. You flip it over, take a closer look, and realize the details seem a little off. Maybe the lettering is doubled. Maybe the strike looks unusual. That's the moment every coin hunter dreams of, because one small discovery could change everything. Rare coins like the 2005 West Virginia quarter remind us that history, art, and luck often come together in the most unexpected places. The State Quarters program was meant to celebrate America's diversity and spirit, but it also sparked one of the greatest treasure hunts in modern collecting. Millions of people are still searching for those perfect, rare, or error-filled quarters. And every year, new discoveries keep the excitement alive. So, if you've got a 2005 West Virginia quarter in your collection, take a close look at it. Check the details carefully: the bridge, the inscriptions, the texture, the shine. You never know what you might find, because hidden among the countless quarters that pass through our hands, a few special ones have become legends in the coin world. And one of those legendary coins, a rare West Virginia State quarter from 2005 in pristine condition with a remarkable minting error, was valued at an incredible $80,000. So don't underestimate the coins jingling in your pocket or sitting in your change drawer. One of them might just be your golden ticket to a collector's dream. Keep searching, stay curious, and as always, happy collecting. Top 3, we're setting our sights on a fascinating piece of American history: the United States Indiana State Quarter from 2002. Now, at first glance, it might just look like another coin in your pocket, but don't be fooled. This quarter hides secrets that could make collectors' hearts race and could turn an everyday coin into a serious fortune. So listen closely and enjoy, because you might just find out that one of these coins sitting in your home is worth far more than you ever imagined. The Indiana quarter was part of the legendary 50 State Quarters program, one of the most popular coin series ever released by the United States Mint. It came out in 2002, representing the 19th state to join the Union, and it quickly became a favorite among collectors and history lovers alike. The design is elegant, symbolic, and filled with meaning, a perfect tribute to the spirit of Indiana, a state known for its passion for progress, innovation, and of course, speed. And on the obverse side of the coin, you'll find the familiar portrait of George Washington, beautifully reimagined for this modern series. But flip it over, and that's where the magic begins. The reverse side features a powerful design that celebrates Indiana's rich heritage in racing. At the center, there's an image of an Indy race car, sleek, fast, and instantly recognizable. The car is placed over an outline of the state of Indiana, surrounded by 19 stars that represent its place as the 19th state to enter the Union. Below the design, the words "Crossroads of America" appear proudly, reflecting Indiana's central role in transportation and commerce across the United States. This design isn't just beautiful, it's symbolic. The Indy car represents the state's world-famous Indianapolis 500, one of the greatest races on Earth. The stars and the state outline tie the design back to Indiana's history, while the motto connects its past and future. It's a coin that perfectly captures the energy and motion of a state that never stands still. But what truly makes the Indiana quarter from 2002 so exciting is not just its design. It's the fact that certain rare and error versions of this coin have become highly valuable in the collector's market. While millions of Indiana quarters were produced, only a few have the special characteristics that make them incredibly rare. One of the most famous errors found on the 2002 Indiana quarter is the double die strike. On these rare coins, you can see slight doubling on some of the letters or the numbers, especially around the words "Crossroads of America" or the date. This happens when the die that stamps the coin shifts slightly between strikes, creating a ghost-like duplicate of the design. These subtle details might be easy to miss, but for collectors, they are a sign of something truly special and valuable. Another sought-after error is the off-center strike. In this case, the coin's design appears shifted to one side, leaving part of the surface blank and giving it an uneven border. These off-center errors are fascinating because they show a real moment in the minting process when something went just a little bit wrong. And those imperfections are exactly what collectors crave. Some Indiana quarters also feature die cracks, where thin lines of raised metal appear across the coin's surface due to cracks in the die. Others have missing letters, filled dyes, or uneven metal composition that gives them unique appearances. Each one of these small differences adds to the coin's rarity, and every error tells a story about how it came to be. Now, condition is everything when it comes to determining a coin's worth. If your Indiana quarter has been in circulation, passed from hand to hand, showing scratches and dullness, it will most likely be worth its face value. But if you happen to own one that's been carefully preserved in mint state condition, showing brilliant shine, sharp details, and no signs of wear, that's where things start to get exciting. Coins that have been professionally graded and certified as mint state 67 or higher are especially sought after by collectors and can command impressive prices at auctions. What makes the Indiana quarter even more appealing is the emotional connection collectors have with it. It's not just a coin. It's a piece of Americana, celebrating the thrill of racing, the pride of craftsmanship, and the energy of progress. For racing fans, it represents speed and victory. For historians, it's a symbol of one of the most ambitious coin programs in U.S. history. And for treasure hunters like us, it's a reminder that every coin has potential. You just need to look closely enough to see it. Imagine the thrill of finding one of these rare quarters while sorting through a handful of change. You hold it up to the light and notice that something about the lettering looks a little off, or the design seems slightly shifted. That tiny detail could be the difference between an ordinary coin and a life-changing discovery. It's moments like these that make coin collecting such a thrilling adventure. The State Quarters program inspired an entire generation to look at their money differently, and the Indiana quarter remains one of its most fascinating examples. It's a perfect blend of history, art, and luck, and that combination is what keeps collectors searching decade after decade. So, if you've got a 2002 Indiana State quarter lying around, don't ignore it. Take a closer look at the details, the shine, and the lettering. Check for doubling, cracks, or unusual patterns. Because somewhere out there, among all the coins that have passed through cash registers and coin jars, a few special ones hold incredible value. And one of those rare 2002 Indiana State quarters, with a remarkable minting error and preserved in flawless condition, was valued at an unbelievable $78,000. Top 4, we're diving into a coin that beautifully captures the natural spirit of the American South, the United States Arkansas State Quarter from 2003. It's a coin full of history, artistry, and mystery, and some rare versions of it have stunned collectors with their incredible value. So listen carefully, because what might look like an ordinary quarter in your hand could actually be hiding a small fortune. The Arkansas State Quarter was released in 2003 as part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program, one of the most successful coin series ever created. Each quarter in this series celebrates one of the 50 states, and Arkansas, known as the natural state, got a design that perfectly represents its beauty and heritage. It's a coin that reflects the rivers, diamonds, and wildlife that make Arkansas so unique. The obverse side of the coin carries the familiar portrait of George Washington, just like every other state quarter. But the reverse side, that's where the magic happens. It features an intricate and stunning design showing a majestic mallard duck in flight over a lake, a cluster of rice stalks on one side, and a glittering diamond at the center. These three images tell a complete story about Arkansas. The rice represents one of the state's largest crops and its agricultural roots. The diamond symbolizes the only diamond-producing area in the United States, Crater of Diamond State Park, and the mallard duck celebrates the state's abundant wildlife and natural wetlands. Together, these symbols form one of the most elegant and meaningful designs in the entire State Quarters collection. When it was released, collectors immediately fell in love with the Arkansas quarter for its graceful look and symbolic richness. But little did they know that some of these coins would one day become treasures worth thousands of dollars. The reason? Rare minting errors and perfect condition examples that have transformed this coin from simple pocket change into a collector's dream. But let's talk about what makes these rare versions so valuable. One of the most exciting varieties is the double die error. This happens when the die, the metal stamp used to strike the coin, hits the blank planchet twice but slightly misaligned, creating a faint shadow or doubling on the letters or design elements. On the Arkansas quarter, this doubling often appears on the words United States of America or E pluribus unum. The effect is subtle, but collectors go wild for these rare imperfections because they're so hard to find. Another fascinating variation is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin isn't perfectly positioned in the press during minting. The result? Part of the design appears shifted or cut off, leaving an uneven edge. Each off-center coin is unique. No two look exactly the same, which makes them highly sought after by numismatists who value uniqueness and rarity above all else. There are also examples of die cracks on Arkansas quarters. These look like thin, raised lines running across the surface of the coin, created when the minting die develops a fracture. While this may sound like damage, it actually happened during the minting process, making it an authentic error and a collectible feature. Some even have die chips, small blobs of extra metal that appear near the duck's beak or around the lettering. These details may be tiny, but they can greatly increase the coin's value for those who appreciate the charm of natural minting flaws. Then, of course, there's condition. Most Arkansas quarters have seen years of circulation, scratched, tarnished, and worn down by time. But finding one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, with bright luster and crisp details, is like striking gold. Coins that have been preserved perfectly, especially those graded MS-68 or higher by professional grading services, are extremely rare. Collectors pay top dollar for coins like these because they represent the finest possible examples of their kind. That what's so special about the Arkansas quarter is that it perfectly balances natural beauty and craftsmanship. It tells a story of a state known for its rivers, farmlands, and gemstones. When you hold this coin, you're holding a piece of America's natural wonder, a reminder that even the smallest things can carry deep meaning. That emotional connection is part of why collectors are willing to pay extraordinary prices for certain versions of this coin. Now picture this. You're sorting through your change, maybe after a trip to the grocery store, and you spot a shiny 2003 Arkansas quarter. You turn it over and notice something strange, maybe a slight doubling in the text, or a faint line running across the surface, or perhaps the design looks just a little off-center. That's the moment every coin collector dreams about. Because what seems like a small imperfection could actually be the key to a rare and valuable discovery. It's stories like these that make coin collecting such an exciting adventure. The Arkansas quarter reminds us that history and luck often meet in the most unexpected ways. While millions of these coins were produced, only a handful came out with those special traits that make them truly extraordinary. And those few have become prized possessions among collectors, fetching unbelievable prices at auctions and private sales. So, before you spend that 2003 Arkansas State quarter sitting in your change jar, take a moment to look at it carefully. Check the lettering, examine the shine, and study every small detail. You never know when you might uncover one of the rarest versions of this coin, one that could change your perception of what pocket change is really worth. Because somewhere out there, a rare Arkansas State quarter from 2003, with a unique minting error and preserved in flawless condition, was valued at an incredible $75,000. Top 5, we're heading to the Pacific Northwest to explore one of the most breathtaking coins in the entire 50-state quarters collection, the United States Oregon State Quarter from 2005. This coin isn't just a piece of metal. It's a work of art that captures the wild beauty of America's frontier. But here's the exciting part. Some rare versions of this coin have sold for incredible amounts of money. So listen carefully and enjoy the story, because this little quarter might just be worth far more than you could ever imagine. The Oregon State Quarter was released in 2005 as part of the U.S. Mint's historic 50-state quarters program. Each coin in the series celebrated a different state, highlighting its most iconic landmarks, symbols, or achievements. When it came time for Oregon, the design chosen was nothing short of magnificent. The coin beautifully captures the state's natural wonder, Crater Lake, one of the most stunning and peaceful places in America. On the obverse side, you'll find the familiar face of George Washington, reimagined with crisp modern lines for the series. But the reverse side is where the real magic unfolds. The design features a breathtaking view of Crater Lake, surrounded by tall, evergreen trees, with Wizard Island rising in the center. The reflection of the landscape in the still water adds a touch of serenity to the coin. It's a design that makes you feel as if you're standing at the edge of the lake itself, gazing into its deep blue waters. The words Crater Lake, Oregon, and 1859, the year the state joined the Union, complete this stunning scene. The level of detail on this coin is incredible, and that's part of why collectors were drawn to it from the moment it was released. But what really gets coin enthusiasts talking today isn't just the design. It's the rarity and the errors that have made certain versions of this coin worth a small fortune. Now let's dive into what makes some Oregon quarters so valuable. One of the most desirable error types found on the 2005 Oregon quarter is the double die error. This happens when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly between strikes, leaving a faint duplicate or ghost image on parts of the design. You can sometimes spot this doubling in the letters of Crater Lake or around the edges of the mountains and trees. These rare errors are highly prized by collectors because they give each coin a unique fingerprint, something that no machine could intentionally replicate. Another type of valuable error is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank coin isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be struck off the edge. Depending on how far off-center it is, this error can dramatically increase the coin's value. The more noticeable and clean the off-center strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes. There are also known examples of die cracks and die chips on the Oregon quarter. These look like tiny raised lines or blobs of extra metal, often appearing near the trees or the lettering. They form when the metal die used to stamp the coins develops small fractures or imperfections over time. Instead of being flaws that reduce the coin's worth, these natural accidents make the coins even more special because they represent one-of-a-kind minting moments. Now, condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. Most of the Oregon quarters in circulation have been used for years, showing scratches, dullness, and loss of detail. Those are worth their face value. But the rare coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, the ones that have never been used, still shining with their original mint luster, are the real treasures. Coins graded at mint state 68 or higher are extremely rare and highly sought after. When a coin has both a minting error and a perfect condition grade, that's when the value skyrockets. What makes the Oregon quarter so special is the emotion it carries. It's not just a coin. It's a story of nature's majesty and human craftsmanship. It captures a sense of calm and awe that only places like Crater Lake can inspire. For collectors, it's a reminder that coins are more than just money. They're tiny time capsules, holding pieces of history, art, and chance. Imagine finding one of these rare coins in your pocket change or tucked away in an old coin jar. You flip it over, see that peaceful lake, and something catches your eye. Maybe the letters look doubled, maybe the strike seems slightly shifted, or maybe there's a strange raised line running through the design. That's the kind of discovery that makes every coin collector's heart skip a beat. Because in that moment, you realize you might be holding something truly extraordinary. The State Quarters program was designed to celebrate America's story, one state at a time, but it also created a generation of collectors and dreamers who started to see value in the everyday. The Oregon quarter perfectly represents that spirit. It reminds us that treasures aren't always found in gold or jewels. Sometimes, they're hiding right in your change.so. Before you spend that 2005 Oregon quarter, take a moment to really look at it. Study the details. Check for doubling on the lettering, off-center designs, or tiny raised lines that might indicate an error. You never know what secrets that little piece of metal might hold, because somewhere out there, a rare 2005 Oregon State quarter, with a beautiful minting error and preserved in flawless condition, was valued at an astonishing $73,000. So keep your eyes open, fellow collectors, and never underestimate the power of curiosity. The next great treasure could be waiting right in your hand. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collecting.